Hello, hello everyone. Thanks for joining. Hopefully you can see me and hear me okay. We will get started with this session very, very soon. Let a few more people join and let me bring up our presentation for today's session. Okay, so this is very exciting. This is our first session introducing MailerLite's MCP server. So this is going to be about connecting AI tools to MailerLite using this MCP. And we will explain all about this, what it is, what it can do, how to set it up. We'll also be showing a live demo. And we will be sharing some info from our CTO, who is the one that brought MCP to MailerLite. All right, and just so everyone is aware, this session is being recorded, so no worries if you have to leave early or anything. We will send out the recording after the session is over. If you have any questions during the session, feel free to ask in the Q&A. There's a webinar chat and there's a Q&A. They're separate. The chat will not be open. It'll mainly be for our panelists. They'll be adding in knowledge base article links, everything like that. So keep an eye there for resources, but so that we can actually see your questions, add them in the Q&A and our panelists will go ahead and answer those. I will say this session is going to be a little bit more maybe beginner friendly, not super, super advanced. But if you do have more advanced questions, that is okay. Feel free to ask, and we can either try to answer them or direct you to our resources. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. This is unlocking AI-powered email marketing with MailerLite's MCP server. So we're talking beyond the AI that's already in our app. This is specifically this new feature. Let's get started. Quick intro, my name is Harmony. I'm a customer education specialist here at MailerLite. I help write all of our knowledge base articles, I work with our tutorials, and I host these webinars. Been here for a few years. Hopefully I can help answer some of your questions. I myself am not an expert in MCP, but we have been working with this and we do know how it works with MailerLite, so just looking forward to sharing all of that info with you. And I also have Alex with me here today. He's our video content producer. I'll be sharing a lot of info about MCP, what it is, what it does, and then I'll pass it off to Alex towards the end. He'll be showing a live demo. So he'll be actually going into the application and showing how the AI interacts with MailerLite. So that'll be the live demo portion. I'll be sharing a lot of info up until then so you understand kind of what you'll be looking at. And this is our agenda for today. The first part of the session is going to be an intro to MCP. Like I said, what is it? What does it do? How can you use it with MailerLite? Just, what are we even talking about with that? Then we'll hear a word from our CTO, Nicola. As I mentioned, he is the one who brought MCP to MailerLite and configured it for our platform. So we have, he recorded a podcast recently with one of our product managers, and we will play a little snippet of that just so you can hear some insight as to how he decided to bring this over, why, the technology behind it. That'll just be a few minutes. We'll explain that. And then, as I mentioned, at the end, we'll have a demo. So you'll be able to see all of this in action. And feel free to ask any questions along the way. Hopefully, if there's any left, we can answer them at the end. Okay, so let's go ahead and ask the biggest question, intro to MCP. What is MCP? And I constantly have to try not to say MPC, very similar. MCP stands for Model Context Protocols. It is basically a set of rules that allows AI assistants, and we're not talking about just one, different AI assistants, Claude, ChatGPT, all different kinds, these models to communicate with external services like MailerLite. So typically, when you are using AI, you would have it in a separate platform, usually. You might have ChatGPT open on the side, and then you add information from your account, maybe, or you talk to it as two different platforms. MCP is what allows those two to communicate together without you having to manually bring over info. So this is a big deal because this is bringing something that is usually a very complex thing into the hands of pretty much anybody who has a MailerLite account. Usually developers would need custom code to connect AI to a service. And this is why I say it is good for beginners. It brings a complex thing to beginners because it allows you to not have to deal with custom code, no developing. It is just using the MCP. It allows it to also do things like add subscribers, create campaigns, all using these protocols. It is very, very simple to set up. It sounds complicated. Even just the wording of it, the way we talk about it can sound complicated. It really is not. It is really just two simple steps. You first need the MCP server URL, and we have a knowledge base article that's what we will share in the chat that has all of these specific URLs that you would need, whether you're working with Claude, ChatGPT, Cursor, whatever AI platform you would like to work with, as long as it is compatible with the MPC, that is how you start. It is just a simple URL. And once you have downloaded, Claude, ChatGPT, you have your AI, the first step is that URL. And you can have a look at that in the chat. That is our knowledge base article that includes um, all of the URLs for the different AI. Once you do that, you can paste that URL into the AI tool like Claude or Cursor. Keep in mind that article shows this step by step. So it shows you exactly where you would add that URL for the different platforms, depending on which one you are using. That is basically it. Once you have the URL, you connect it to your AI tool. This is assuming you have a MailerLite account that is active and that you are using. The next thing is to authorize and start prompting. Authorizing means giving it permission to access your account, and then you can start using it. So it really is just 3 simple steps. And this is a little bit of a visual on how it works. It is exactly how I explained it. You have the AI tool, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever. And then you have MailerLite over here. Typically, these are 2 separate things. You could ask questions to one, input it in the other. It works. Now with the MCP server, that acts as the bridge. This is the language, in a sense, that teaches the AI how to interact with MailerLite. It can be used for other tools as well. MCP can connect lots of different tools together. Of course, we are just showing MailerLite. And speaking of different tools that you can use, right now these are what is available. And when the availability, these are the plan levels of the AI itself, not MailerLite. So we're talking about a free plan on VS Code, for example. So tools you can use, Claude, desktop, or web. You do need to have one of these plans in order to use it. Again, this is a Claude paid plan, not MailerLite paid plan. Certain AI tools, you'll need to be on a higher plan on that tool in order to use MCP. Not everyone, but Claude is one of them. VS Code, possible on the free plan for VS Code. Again, free plan for MailerLite can use these too, but I'm talking about a free plan for VS Code. Cursor can be used with the free or paid plan, the Cursor paid plan. And the same thing, if you have ChatGPT Pro or Plus, it works with MCP. The ChatGPT free plan does not connect. Pro and Plus does. And again, I'm talking about paid plans with the AI, not with MailerLite. Okay, and of course, all of this, we want to bring up points about data because again, you are connecting your platform that has all of the information for your business. Subscribers, campaigns, information on those subscribers. It's a lot of sensitive information. And you want to make sure that you know what permissions you are giving the AI to access. You are fully in control of the data that is shared. So you are able to, this is where the authorization comes in. When you first make that connection, this is what you are agreeing to. The AI is only going to access the data that is needed to perform the request that you ask. Okay? So this might include any one of these things, subscriber data and any of their data, campaign data, as well as the performance metrics, groups and segments, the names, the lists, the emails, everything, automations and forms, all the details about your automations and forms. You are always in control of that data being shared. You agree to it, you are seeing what is being shared, and you can remove it at any time. Okay, so you are always in control of the data that you share with the AI platform that you connect with. Let's talk about some of the possibilities. This is the exciting part. So now that we understand kind of what MCP is, what can you do with it? Is it better than just working on things yourself? Is it really helpful? Does it really make things quicker? Let's get into it. There are lots of things you can do with MCP. These are going to be some basic examples, and then Alex will do some demos to show it in action. But just some examples of what you can do. Create and upload an email draft in seconds. Easily turn blog posts or any other kind of long form content into email campaigns. This is something that AI could already do, of course. You could do this with ChatGPT already. But now that we have the ability to connect it to MailerLite, it actually lets the AI assistant create a draft email for you in your account in seconds, ready for you to review. Don't believe me? We have a little bit of an example here. So we have a blog that we published, MailerLite, on MCP, and this is an example. We provided a link to our recent MCP blog post with all the info. We asked the tool to write a newsletter summary to promote the blog post, and then create a campaign in MailerLite that we can send to engaged subscribers. This entire process took about 75 seconds. And you can see with this little GIF animation kind of what that looked like at the time when they were putting this together. So asking, here is my blog article we just wrote. I would like you to generate a campaign to promote it. And you can see it created the campaign all there with everything that he asked. So he did not have to physically create campaign. It was all done through the MCP, and the draft email showed up right there, which of course you can edit. Very, very cool. You can see we added specific design elements, which we'll talk about here. Since the AI tool can create campaigns using the HTML editor, we added some simple design instructions. So this is also very helpful. Make the width a certain amount, keeping it mobile responsive, adding any images you want to show, and using the same styles, fonts, brand colors as the blog post. So aside from giving it information on what kind of content you want to generate, you can also give it design elements as well, especially because if it is working with the HTML builder, that is important. You can really talk to this AI and give it all the information you need it to have. Let's talk about prompting. This is another example. You can have your AI assistant provide a breakdown of your most recent campaign performances. This is a big one. We'll also demo what this looks like. An example prompt, please analyze my most recent campaign. Tell me how the performance compares to other emails and make suggestions to improve it next time. You can say that, and notice I'm not giving it any information on my most recent campaign. I'm not giving it any information on my other emails because with that connection, it already has that info. This prompt gives you a quick analysis of your most recent campaigns and then compares it to the previous ones. It analyzes it to see what went well and where there's room to improve. It can also make suggestions for future campaigns. This is something that could take an email marketer a very long time to do themselves. They will spend time going through their emails and looking at all of this. This makes it so that all of the data is presented to you in a way easier way to see. It's clear, and you're able to actually get suggestions for future campaigns. You can also use it to keep your list healthy and engaged. Aside from generating content, you can also use it to provide insights about your engagement within your account. You can use a prompt like this. 2,500 subscribers haven't opened my emails in 9 months. I've drafted a re-engagement campaign for them. Can you create the automation? So this is actually asking, I've already done the campaign, but I want it to be a full email re-engagement series now based off of this one campaign. It can do that. This allows you to analyze the statistics so that you're able to pull up the subscribers who haven't opened your email in 9 months automatically and have that automation created for you based off of the draft campaign. Again, these are all examples. Um, it can be a lot more complex than this. It can be a lot more simple than this. Another option Gathering social proof to drive sales. You can ask your AI assistant to identify a segment of, say, brand evangelists who frequently open and click and share your content, so your most engaged users. Then you can target this group with requests for reviews or early access to new products. There are so many ways to see your statistics in MailerLite. You can always see who is engaged, who opens your campaigns, but you do have to go into those sections, locate it, see it for yourself. This just saves time, right? Extracting all of that data so that you do not have to manually go through and check these types of things. Another one option you can do is use it to optimize your automation strategy. So we've talked about how this can be used to generate campaigns, can also be used to look into your data, to come up with automations based on a campaign. This is also about strategy for a automation. So if you are getting used to workflows, you aren't really sure how a workflow could be best used for your specific business. You might have heard workflows are great for re-engagement, for welcome emails, but if you're wondering how can I use it for my business, this is how you can find out. My business sells something to somebody. I'm defining my email marketing strategy. Currently sending newsletters and a welcome email sequence, but I want more automations besides just these generic, what we're told to start with. Please suggest 3 automation ideas and create automation drafts I can from in MailerLite for each one. This is great because you are going to be giving it your business model, what you sell, what you promote, what your service is, who you're selling to, who your audience is, who you're speaking to. And if you just need some ideas, besides, again, the generic what we recommend, you can have this AI suggest automations that are specifically aligned to your business. This specific kind of prompt would analyze your current setup, what you already have, and then suggest further automations, how you could actually improve what you've already built. It can also include the exact emails to send in each one to make it simple. All right, this is where we're going to hear a word from Nicola. This is our CTO, Nicola, and this is our product manager, Carrie. They recently did a podcast. This is about an hour long. I will not be playing the whole hour. I'll be playing the first about 5-6 minutes, where Nicola talks about kind of the innovation behind this. Of course, it's an interesting thing, but he talks about, how it's come into the industry, how it's going to help our clients, and just he's the kind of mastermind behind this. So I will play a quick segment of this podcast and then we'll get back to our demos here.
Thank you for joining us today with
If anyone cannot hear this or see this, please let me know.
This MailerLite talk. My name is Carrie. I'm a product marketing manager here at MailerLite. And today I'll be chatting with our CTO, Nicola, about some of our latest innovations with MailerLite Labs. So before we dive in, I just want to get Nicola to explain a little bit about this MailerLite Labs initiative. What is it? Can you provide people with a little bit of context into what you're working on?
Yeah, sure things. Thanks, Carrie, for introducing me. I'm Nicola. I'm a CTO here, and I'm guided by shiny new things, but not for a progress for the sake of progress, but in order to help people do better with their businesses and everything else. And hence the MailerLite Labs. With the recent development, not recent, but not very recent, but recent year or something like that, developments in the industry with AI and everything, we really wanted to provide some value to the users rather than just a simple, text or image generator, or just to slap AI on top of the product and just call it like that for the hype. But we really wanted to provide some value. And we created the MailerLite Labs as, experimental part within MailerLite. We will release many things like that. And once AI community or LLM providers decided on a certain standard on how different tools can talk to LLMs and more importantly between each other, then we saw more opportunity for users and actually useful things. So Claude, actually Anthropic, released Model Context Protocol, aka MCP, which you have likely heard more than once in this hour, and you will hear it quite a few times today.
Yeah.
You will see what it is and how will it actually help you, because I know that it can be very abstract when you say MCP, but it is like a USB protocol for AI, so you can plug any device in and use it, and it will allow you, especially with MailerLite MCP, to build your own marketing assistant. Email.
Yeah. Exactly. That's kind of what we want to hone in on in this talk is the development of this MCP. So that stands for not MailerLite Context Protocol.
Well, we can call it like that, right? It's a good opportunity to bring
Model Context Protocol, which if anyone's listening to that and that sounds a little bit scary, it's just a fancy way of saying, it's just like what Nicolas said, it gives your email marketing, in this case MailerLite, a way to be integrated into tools that you're probably already using, like ChatGPT and Claude. So yeah, it's just really connecting those two tools. So sorry?
Yeah, well, you said it sounds scary. Scary has Carrie in its name, so maybe it's because of that. But no, jokes aside, yeah, it seems a bit abstract, but essentially, as you said, ChatGPT finally can connect to the MCPs, which we will likely show later, because it was first created by Claude. And now all of the providers are integrating it. We are still waiting on Google, so hopefully it will be in Gemini soon as well, because many people have Google Workspaces, so it will be very nice to do it there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So when we first released this MCP, it was available with Claude, but there were a lot of limitations with ChatGPT, which wasn't ideal because obviously ChatGPT is a huge user base. I would say it's probably the main go-to LLM for most people, but now they have made it available outside of the US for a start, and it's available in their Pro and is it Premium and Plus plans?
I think it's Pro and Plus.
Pro and Plus, yeah.
Pro Plus, Pro Max, however companies decide to call their plans. But yeah, it's now available there. And there were many problems with MCPs in the beginning. Of course, with new protocols, it is always like that. But essentially, a lot of companies made it very hard for users to use MCPs. You had to know how to install certain tools locally and to use that thing which non-tech users call the matrix. It's terminal, so you had to run the commands, you had to run it locally, then you had to go and get an API key from the tool that you're using, and to be honest, that wasn't user-friendly at all. So from the start, our commitment was to actually make it very easy for a user to connect their account to MCP, which we then did. So, and many other companies just released it that you can run it locally, but that is aimed more towards technical users, while I don't think that MCP should be aimed towards technical users. It can, of course, because that
Sorry about that. I think the connection went off for a minute. No worries. Let me get that back. And I think that we were pretty much already at the very end of what we were showing here. The part that that he was about to go into was actually the demo. So I just wanted to play a little bit of this so you can kind of understand, where this came from, why we introduced it. I saw some questions about Gemini, which I think you might have heard him say it's not available yet. No ETA, as far as I know. I believe it really is on Google. It's something that has to do with their setup so it's not so much that we're working on adding it. It's when it's available on their end. So um, that is that. And we can go ahead and go into the demo. So the next part that Nicola would be showing would be, exactly how to do this. And that is what I will pass over to Alex to share. And Alex, I think you're just showing Claude, right? Not GPT for this demo. That's totally fine.
I do have both available, so we can hop into the both, but they're connected to the same account. So
Okay.
it's yep, basically the same thing, but let me go ahead and share my screen so that we can take a look and see what this looks like.
Sure. Let me stop sharing my own.
The Claude window at this time. And then, so usually when you first connect the MCP, and then there is a link, by the way, for everyone in that's watching. There's a link in the chat for how to set this up. It's very simple. They wanted to make this as user-friendly as possible. So we have step-by-step instructions to do that. Once you're set up in Claude, so I have it set up in my account right now. The first thing you'll want to do is test it to make sure that it's actually connected to your account. So I would say something like, how many subscribers do I have in MailerLite? And then if this is genuinely connected, then it should go through my actual account data to figure out what's in there. So it looks like it's not on right now. I may have not connected this one correctly. Let me go to ChatGPT. Sorry about that. One moment. Let me reshare my screen.
I'm also adding in the server URLs in the chat so they can find it easily.
Okay. So reshared. This one should be connected. I might have done something wrong with my Claude account. Do I have in MailerLite? And then yeah, you can see it's calling the tool. Let me go ahead and confirm that it has permission to access my account. And then right now it's working to call back to my MailerLite account. So there it shows that I have 2,289 subscribers in MailerLite. So we know that it is actually connected to my account. It's not just throwing out random numbers. So then let's do something like have it analyze a campaign. Now keep in mind your results are going to be different because this is gathering data from your specific account. So if I want to analyze my most recent campaign, this is connected to our demo campaign. So I work with video for MailerLite tutorials. Got a lot of demo campaigns. So we may see some interesting data from that perspective. But let me go ahead and see if we prompt it to analyze the most recent campaign. We wanted to know how that performance will compare to other emails and then maybe make suggestions on how to improve the next time. Okay, then again, I'm gonna have to confirm that it can call the tool. Okay, I'm gonna say remember so it can actually do it. And then with ChatGPT, it'll show you how it's thinking. I think Claude has a little bit of a window as well. Like a lot of the assistants are fairly similar with how they show their work. Um, right now, it's still analyzing to make some suggestions and analyzing what data we have in our account. All right, looks like it gave us a campaign summary. And now it's doing the analysis. Okay, so because again, we have a demo account, it had a little bit of a struggle with how to do that because we did a tiny test sent over on the most recent campaign to one person. So it's giving us data based on our actual account, which again is it is a demo account, but it's still doing its best to provide actual data based on what we have. And then when you have your account, if you're actively sending emails out to your list, then you'll get some really, again, an actual analysis based on your data. And it like provides suggestions on what you can do next to improve. So let's try something else, like having it create a welcome automation for when someone joins a newsletter group with a call to action to check out our latest video in the last email. We'll see if we can actually do that with our account. So we hit enter and send that in. And again, we're going to allow it to create automation. So again, we asked it to create a 4-email welcome automation for when someone joins the newsletter group with a call to action. And in our account, we do have a group called newsletter. But again, you can do this for your specific email list as well. The MCP is also able to create and manage groups. So if you don't have a group and you want to make one, you can have it also create that group as well. So you can see that we have it set up a draft automation called Welcome Newsletter Series. And it's currently disabled, so nothing is going to be sent. And then we have a template for 4 welcome emails that we can go ahead and just like plug and play into our automation. And then it's even going to add some like different suggestions for how we can optimize this this as well. And then for one final one, let's go ahead and have it analyze something about engagement with our subscribers. So let's say which campaign got the highest engagement, and then help me to create a new campaign using best practices from that one. All right, it looks like it still has the data from before when it was analyzing our account, so it didn't have to think as long to get that information because it already called and got the info in this chat thread. Alrighty, and then provided a recommendation for a new campaign, and then even at the end says, want me to generate the HTML button block and thumbnail for MailerLite. So yeah, let's see here. I'm gonna ask it if it can create that account or that campaign in my account for me. So it just needs a little bit of information in order to do this. So let's say let's go to demo actually. There we go. MailerLite. So if we give it information, it really kind of guides you through how to have it work with you. Like if you don't know exactly how to do it, you can actually just directly ask your assistant for how to do what it is that you want it to do. So we're going to ask it to use a placeholder link for now because I told it to ask for a As for a URL, we don't want that. All right, so it looks like it's thinking and calling different tools for this. And then need to allow it again. And keep in mind for ChatGPT, when we set this up, you'll see this in the link for how to set up ChatGPT, but we do use developer mode within ChatGPT. It's pretty easy to set up, and if you're a developer, it's hardly a developer mode, but there is a way to get this to work, and it'll show you. The steps are pretty simple to walk through on our link. Okay, so it looks like we need a different sender email, but ideally, again, this is with our demo account. Things can get a little bit more complicated when we are using demo accounts, simply because they are just that. If you are using your actual data, we assume that you have, your verified email and your actual list, then I think that this would work really well for, for your account when you're using actual non-demo data. But that's about it for now, I would say. We went ahead and had it get a lot of campaign detail, analyze campaigns and engagement. We had it create an automation and then create a campaign, but then it was not able to finish that part just because we needed to have a different sender email, because the one that we have at this domain is a demo like email address. So it is not going to work with this specific example. That's about it that I have for now. Harmony, should I pass it back over to you to finish this out?
Sure, no worries. I think as far as our session, we won't be going the full hour because this is, we can kind of just show different examples. I see some people saying that the MCP link is not working, and there's a reason why. If you're just clicking that link and it shows it doesn't work, it's because that link is not meant to just go in your browser. It's not meant to be accessed that way. I don't know if you're able to show this in a certain way, Alex, but the link is meant to go into the AI platform. So it's not something you paste into your
Yeah.
server,
Yeah. Let
to your
me,
browser.
1 second.
Yeah, even if you don't want to fully do the connection, just showing where that URL would go. Because yeah, if you just click that URL, it will show as invalid because it's not meant to go in the browser.
Okay, 1 moment. There we go. Let me share my screen one more time. Okay, so really quickly, I didn't want to go through all of the setup steps. Maybe I can. I don't know. It's like it's like the link is it'll walk you through the steps because we have different ways to set it up with different connectors. But that link that is posted in the chat, so there's the one link that is at MailerLite.com. That one, let me see. Let me open the chat real quick so I can verify what I'm actually looking at. Okay, so we have a link that's MailerLite.com, the help article with how to connect to MailerLite's MCP. If you click that link, it will take you to the instructions for how to set up MCP with your assistant. The link at the bottom where it says MCP server URL, that's one that you're going to need to actually install with your specific AI tool. So you can see on my screen here what it says MailerLite custom. That's where that URL goes. So your MCP install is going to use that URL to authorize, verify, and do all of that back behind the scenes stuff to get this set up with your account. You don't put that into your browser. That's something that your AI tool is going to use to clarify with that what that link is for.
Yeah, and just like Alex said, there are different URLs for each tool. The one that I posted in the chat, I believe, is for Claude because that is the one that you were talking about at the start. But if you look at that KB article that we posted in the chat, I'm going to go ahead and just add it in there again
Yeah,
to
and let
make it
me just
easy.
share that real quick too.
Yeah. That
So this is
there
the
you go.
link that you would go to install. This is the first link in the chat, I believe. So if you go to that one, it'll take you over here, and then you'll be able to see if you want to set it up with Claude, we have video tutorials for how to do that. So video tutorial and then text step by step how to get that set up. And then as you scroll down, we've got different tools. And as more tools get added, then we will create more instructions for how to get those set up. That's part of why we didn't want to walk through the steps, because how to set up ChatGPT and how to set up Claude are not really the same. They're similar, but they're not the same, because ChatGPT and Claude are just how they work with MCP is just a little bit different. It's part of why Claude's MCP came out, I think, is one of the first ones that we had available. And then ChatGPT is actually a more recent thing that became available to everyone.
Yeah, I believe in testing them, we've noticed Claude works really well and ChatGPT works really well, just with our own testing. The other ones also obviously work great, but the connection seems to be really good between the Claude tool and the ChatGPT tool. So once again, just to clear up any confusion, yes, there are different URLs to make these connections. The first step in doing any of this is deciding which AI tool you want to use. So if that's ChatGPT, go to the article and look for the specific ChatGPT URL. If you want to use, VS Code, Claude, same thing. You will find the specific URL under each one. You will also find specific instructions. So we are showing kind of a basic overview of what MCP looks like as it's being used. But, if you want to use a specific tool, we have tutorials and instructions for each tool. So ChatGPT, VS Code, all of our tutorials that show step by step how to actually set that up. So hopefully that is a little bit clear. That is mostly what we have to show. I'm just looking at any other questions that we might be able to answer. One question that did come up, which I do think is very important to say, is about the campaigns. So yes, you can have the MCP model draft a campaign for you and create the draft in MailerLite. I did mention that that will be with the HTML editor. And I answered the question in the chat, but I'll answer it just so everyone can hear me. To use the HTML editor, you do need to be on our advanced plan with MailerLite. That doesn't mean that you need to use an advanced plan to use MCP. I'm specifically talking about the ability to have it draft campaigns for you. That is done with the HTML editor. You can still use MCP with a free account. You can still have those connections. I'm specifically talking about the ability to draft campaigns. But as a workaround, you can just have the AI tool draft all the content for you. So it's very easy to then bring it over into the drag and drop editor. So that is just one thing to note. I did see other tools being asked about. Grok, I think, was one of the tools. If it's not listed in the initial part that we showed, it's not available yet. Possibly in the future. Like we said, ChatGPT just got added recently. So if it's not here, it hopefully will be added soon. I do see someone asking, do I need to cancel an old MailerLite account and set up a new MailerLite account? If you're talking about the new MailerLite, then no. I did see some people asking if you can use MCP with the classic version of MailerLite. Unfortunately, you cannot. Most of what we're going to be talking about when it comes to new features, innovations, upgrades, it's all going to be in the new MailerLite. So in that case, yes, if you only have a classic account and you want to try this out, you do need to create a free new account. But if you already have a MailerLite account, you are not using our classic platform, which most people here probably are not, then you do not need to have a new account created. You can use your account that you've been using that has all your data. No need to create that. I do see somebody else asking about their classic plan. Keep in mind, if you do want to switch over to the new MailerLite, you do not have to keep paying for your classic plan. You can have your credits from classic brought over to the new MailerLite. That is something very specific to those using our classic account. So just to be aware of that. Any other questions? How about the growing business account? Growing business account does not include the HTML editor, but again, that is just the emails. You do not need to have a growing business or advanced account to use MCP. We're strictly talking about the ability for it to craft email drafts. And I see somebody else asking about how they can tell if they're using the new MailerLite or Classic. Good question. Let me go ahead and just share my screen quickly so I can clear up that question. So let me go ahead and just show you real quick what these two look like. So in case you are wondering, just a second here. So we actually do have an article that talks about this. Which version of MailerLite are you using? This is what the classic platform in MailerLite looks like. It has the navigation menu on top. This is the UI. It looks just like this. The new MailerLite looks like this. Okay, this is the new MailerLite right here. This is my account. If your account looks like this, once it loads, if your account looks like this is the new MailerLite. And you would be using this if you signed up anytime after 2022, I believe. If you were with us before 2022, you might be using Classic, but anyone has the opportunity to create an account on the new MailerLite for free. And if you're still paying for Classic, you can have those credits transferred. All very easy, all very possible. All right, I think that is mostly it. I saw some other questions here. Great, yes, you can check which account you have. I see people are also experimenting with other types of AI. Feel free to have a look if you see that you're able to make it work. But these are the tools that we've showed in the article are ones that we know for sure work and have instructions on how to do that. Looking at any of the other questions here. And I think we've mainly gotten through most of it. I will also let everybody know that this MCP that we have just released is now on Product Hunt. It has just been out and we're trying to get it, show up more for advertising to more people. So that is also part of this. Let me see if I can bring up the Product Hunt. But otherwise, Alex, unless there's anything else we've missed or any questions, anything else we didn't show, I think.
Regarding MCP, I think that's about it. When it comes to adding new assistants, we'll release more information as soon as we know about it. We are on the education team, so usually when something is coming out, they do try to let us know so that we can create that educational content and the how-tos to enable all of that. If you have the URL for this how to connect page, keep a look at that or subscribe to our YouTube channel. We enable notifications. I say that a lot on the channel, but if you do that, you will get notified when we have new features and new things launching in the platform. So definitely, keep subscribed to that, check it out, and become a MailerLite expert along the way. But yeah, as far as MCP goes, I think that does about cover it. So yeah.
Great. I'm just looking to see any other questions. Hopefully this was helpful to kind of show just how it works, what it looks like, how you use it. I'll quickly look at any other last minute questions just to see what we've missed. Copilot, again, if it's not on that list, then it might be on the way. In the growing business plan, planning campaigns does not work. What I mean is if you have a growing business plan and you want the MCP tool to draft a campaign for you, it will not be able to because it will have to use the HTML editor, which is not available on growing business. However, you can still use MCP for many other things and you can still have it draft content for campaigns. Okay, I think that is it. Someone is saying it's not working for me. I asked so many subscribers and the number is way off. Check the connection, check which account you connected to. It's very specific. When you connect to your MailerLite account, it asks you which account you want to connect to if you have more than one. So you might be connecting to an account that is different from the one you actually want to be getting information from. So that is how you test MCP, is by asking it basic questions, and if it has accurate information, you are connected to the right account. If not, check which account you connected to. Okay,
Think that about does it?
I think that is it. Lots of questions we answered. I will stop sharing my screen. Okay, looks like it. We made it just about the hour mark. I appreciate everyone for joining us for this session. If you have any more technical questions about MCP, anything like that, in the follow-up email, we will share all of our resources. We will share the link to the product hunt launch so you can see that. And feel free to ask us more technical questions with customer support or anything like that. So if you are trying to use MCP and need help along the way, we are here. But like I said, we have lots of guides and lots of tutorials to walk you through everything. Okay, great. Thank you so much, everyone. See you in the next one. Bye.